Welcome back for the first ever tier list video of mine. Now, it won't be traditional style tier. This is also a special custom tier list with my own 5 total tiers I have. This is ranking for my own opinion anyways on what Mortal Kombat characters that I think will be in MK12 once everything gets announced. So with that said, the 5 category tiers that I have are first, will be back tier, definite characters that I'm pretty much about 99% certain will be back in the next game. Then we have the most likely tier, which I would say I'm probably around anywhere from like 60 to 80% sure that these characters will return in the next game. Then we have the maybe tier, which I feel is a bit more 50-50. Some of these characters I could see coming back as more likely DLC than anything. Then we have the I hope so tier, characters that I definitely want to see return that maybe wasn't in MK11, but I would like to actually see return in MK12 from past games. And there's definitely some hot takes on this, as well as no thanks tier characters I don't want to ever see return to Mortal Kombat. And just like the I hope so tier, I'm sure we'll have definitely some hot takes, and that's fine. First up, though, we're going to go starting at the top. The characters I think are most likely to return are pretty much dead cert. And on the We'll Be Back tier, I have Sub-Zero, which pretty much is guaranteed to return. Also, Scorpion is on this tier, along with Raiden, Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, as well as Johnny Cage, Jax, and Katana are definite stays that I don't see going away at all. And I wouldn't be surprised. Definitely, I think all of these characters will be back in the next game. Then we have the most likely tier. Characters that I'm pretty reasonable will not be surprised if they come back. First off on this tier is Kano, and by the way, um, also mention like which fighting game actually the characters debuted in. Kano, which of course first appeared in MK11 or MK11, MK1. Then next on this tier is Shang Tsung, which first appeared obviously in MK1, though MK2 is a normal playable character. Then we have from MK2 on the most likely list, I would not be surprised if he returns, being Kung Lao. Also, Melina. I actually, given how things play out in the Aftermath story, I would not be surprised if Fujin returns. Also, the same thing goes, I would not be surprised also if Kenshi ends up returning, as he is a definite fan favorite, going all the way back to, I believe it was MK Deception or Deadly Alliance he first debuted in. Also, on this tier, I would not be surprised if he ends up returning, given basically rebooting somewhat the timelines again. Um, Next would be Goro. Not surprised if he returns. Also, I would not be surprised, given she has become slowly a fan favorite thanks to 11, but she first appeared in 2011 MK Reboot. That being Scarlet. Also, I won't be surprised if Cassie Cage returns, as well as Devora, which is a villain character that most people absolutely hate, which makes all the more reason to bring Devora back. Also, the last on this tier for me is Kotal Khan. Next, the maybe tier that I'm a bit more 50-50, not 100% certain on, but definitely some I would like to see return, but I think there is a more or less 50-50 chance that they will return in some shape or form. Uh, First up, Reptile. Then we have, which of course debuted in MK2. Well, as a playable character, I should say. Also, Smoke is a character I would not be surprised if returns. Also, Shao Kahn, I have on this tier. Not 100% certain if he'll return or not. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make him DLC again, as how successful it was in the previous game in MK11. Also, of other characters on this tier, I have Jade, which technically first appeared in MK2, though she wouldn't be playable until MK3. Then we have, of course, a very broken character in at least vanilla version MK3. I think has a possibility to come back. Cabal, also Nightwolf. I actually would not be surprised if they bring him back. Also, of characters, possibly. Now, whether or not, since it is a reboot, hard to say, but if you do, it'd be interesting if they would bring Tanya back. Also, Quan Chi. I wouldn't be surprised if he returns. Also, Noob Saibot. Of other characters that might make things interesting, Rain, as well as Aaron Black, possibly come back. Personally, I'd be fine if Aaron Black doesn't come back. I'm just not the biggest fan of his overall gameplay style, though I think I can say I have more fun playing with Aaron Black probably in MK11 than I did in MKX. Also on this tier, uh, Jackie Briggs is another one that I would not be surprised to see return again. The last one may be a somewhat controversial opinion, but I feel like if you have like elements that have survived from Chronica, obviously Chronica won't be coming back and hopefully never does. Actually, I have on the maybe tier possibly bring back Garrus. Maybe have him like find some way to get out of the Sea of Blood. I feel like that could be very useful and an interesting element as Garrus by far plays very unique and different from any other really Mortal Kombat character ever. So it would be nice to see a more unique character and concept like Garrus return, and maybe altered a little here or there somehow. Now, first up, the I Hope So tier. We'll see how people's opinions are on that, as well as No Thanks tier. First, on the I Hope So tier of characters, I'll do one line of each, go back and forth. First line of I Hope So tier, I'd like to see return in some shape or form. First debuting in MK2, Kentaro. I actually would much prefer Kentaro to come back than Goro. Kentaro is just a more unique character, and I think actually is more badass overall, though Goro is the all-time classic sub-boss. But still, I have a very interesting, for some reason, soft spot for the character of Kentaro, and I would just like to see him return. Also, of characters I like to see return, of course, Cyrax, Ermac, and also, of course, Cyber Smoke. Bring him back either individual characters or bring him back as Triborg. I don't care. I just would like to see my Cyber Ninjas make a comeback. Also, of characters I would like to see come back, well, no surprise. Originally debuting in MK3, I'd actually like to see make a return is Ermac. It's another character I would like to come back. I really enjoyed Ermac actually in Mortal Kombat, specifically Mortal Kombat X. He's a lot of fun. I also really liked Ermac in Mortal Kombat Deception as well, which, by the way, the music in the background playing is from Deception. Um, of other characters I'd like to see return, also debuting in MK3, I would like to see Motaro return. I actually think it would be cool to have Motaro brought back as maybe a sub-boss again or something, with his full four legs and not like the version they did in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. I get it, there was a lot more graphical limitations and everything, processing power, but given the technology we have nowadays, I feel like a character like Motaro could work a lot better nowadays, with the much better hardware and everything in place now for like PC, Series X, and PS5. Shouldn't be too much of a issue nowadays. Also, characters I'd like to see return, which was a DLC character in the previous game, but I want her to return as she is my favorite female character of all time in the series. Sindel is another character I would like to see return in MK12. Also, I would like to see return debuting in MK4. Kai, I feel, has a lot of potential and could be really cool. He could be set up as like the new, I feel, the new uh, Liu Kang, personally. I think Kai has that potential. Also, characters I would like to see return, Reiko. If you don't bring back, of course, the big baddie himself, Shao Kahn, bring back Reiko. Also, I'd like to see return, somewhat controversial opinion, technically first appearing in Mythology Sub-Zero, but is playable MK4, and that being Shinnok, I actually would like to see return. Also, the last on the first line of characters I would like to see return, debuting in MKX, well, as a fighting game, though he actually first appeared in Mortal Kombat Special Forces, but we don't talk about that game. Um, Trimmer, which is, I think, one of the coolest ninja characters. I get people like Max don't like Trimmer that much. Personally, I love Trimmer. Trimmer is in my like top 10 favorite characters on MKX as a whole. And with that said, first line of characters I don't want to see return. A first of being, well, Chameleon. I don't really give a crap. Originally, it was just a special unlockable weird alternate. Then they made Chameleon his own character in Armageddon, but kind of sucked, let's be honest. So, Chameleon is a character that they could delete and I would not miss. Also, very hot takes. I would not care if Stryker never returned. I never really cared much for the character of Curtis Stryker. Never probably will. I've just never got into the character gameplay or anything personally. Then, next one, also a hot take of characters I don't really care about coming back in any future game. Shiva. I know that's going to be a very unpopular opinion, and that's fine. But for me, I'm just not a fan of Shiva. Also, I honestly would rather not ever reappear in a game. Jarek. I don't despise Jarek as much as some people, but still, I'm not the biggest fan of Jarek as a whole. He basically was a knockoff version of really Kano. Then we have a special DLC sort of, or unlockable character through cheat codes that I don't really want to ever return, and that being Meat. Meat is another character I don't really give a crap about. Also, I hope personally never returns also Blaze. I'm not really interested in Blaze ever making a comeback or anything. But that's just my perspective. Also, of characters I hope that never come back, Draman is another one I don't really care about from Deadly Alliance. Of demon characters, yeah, he kind of, gameplay wise, I don't mind Draman, specifically in Armageddon, but overall as a character, I'm just not a big fan of Draman. Also, of characters I hope never return, I'm going to be honest, Bo Raicho. I do not like the character Bo Raicho, nor have I ever liked the character. I find him just disgusting and stuff, though he's not nearly as bad in MKX as he was in Deception. But with that said, nevertheless, still, he could go away and I'll never care. And last for this part of the no thanks tier list is, well, I'm not sure how you precisely say his name correctly. HSU, then HAO. And that is a specific character, which, of course, in one of the intros um, for Aaron Black, pops out his head out of a bag You know who I'm talking about. He basically was only in, outside of Armageddon, was only in Deadly Alliance, and a character I hope never returns ever. And I think he's worst, probably the worst Mortal Kombat character of all time. Next, of characters I would like to see return, somewhat maybe a hot take, I'm not sure. I want Frost to come back again. I am actually a big lover of the character Frost. I really enjoyed playing with her in MK11. She's in my top 10 favorite characters on the roster, and I actually hope they bring Frost back again. I think she makes actually a very good, arrogant villain. Also, of characters I'd actually like to see come back, originally debuting in Deception, Ashura is another character I would like to see make a comeback, as well as, I know I'm kind of weird on this, but I like Cobra for some reason. I actually wouldn't mind him coming back. Also, I'd like to see Shujinko make a comeback from Deception. I actually think he would make a good, more like, have him as older and stuff in the place of Boraicho, have Shujinko and maybe a mentor like figure role, as there aren't too many like older characters really in Mortal Kombat, which is kind of surprising. But also characters I'd like to see make a comeback, Dagon. Out of the characters introduced in that game, specifically Armageddon, I would like to see Dagon come back. I think he could be an actually interesting, good villain to fight against and stuff in the game. And I didn't hate the character overall. Also, Kun Jin, debuting in X, I would actually like to see him return as well, because it would be nice to have a bit of a different style monk character from others, with and the fact he uses a bow and arrow as weapons also gives him a refreshing playstyle as well. Also, of other characters I'd like to see come back, Takeda is another one I want to see make a return. Very controversial opinion. I actually wouldn't mind Collector making a return, but that is just my personal opinion. The last two characters that I want to see return in MK12 in some shape or form, first off, is Havoc. I want Havoc, basically the head honcho for the Realm of Chaos. I would love to see Havoc make a return. Also, Onaga the Dragon King is number one I most want to see return. See the original Emperor of Outworld make a return. Now, with that said, the last of the characters on the no thanks tier are Lee May. Never really was too interested in the character. Also, Mavaldo from Deadly Alliance, not really interested in the character. Moloch can go away for all I care. I've never really liked the sub boss. Also, of other characters, Mocap can go away and vanish. Also, add Natira to that. Darius. Darius, however, there's one other character, which is DairoU. Not really interested in the character either. Hotaru, um, is a character I'm kind of back and forth between delete or maybe keep, as he was supposed to be like the adversary of Havoc. But I think Havoc is a much more interesting character at the end of the day than Hotaru. Last of the characters that I hope never make a return, Taven is a character I could care less about. Dagon is more interesting. And of course, they are like half brothers, also, by the way, to Rain. Just if you, in case you don't know. Also, characters I think could go away and I wouldn't care, Ferritor from MKX, being one of my least favorite characters. Um, the last two characters I hope never make a return, Cetrion. Though I could see myself tolerating Cetrion possibly, but still, overall, I would prefer Cetrion to go away, but absolutely keep Chronica away from the MK franchise as a whole. But with that said, that is my custom tier list of characters that I think will, or characters I hope make a return to MK12, and characters I hope never see the light of day again. With that said, I'll see you all next time. Leave a comment. Tell me what your thoughts are. What characters would you like to see come back in MK12, and which characters would you agree with me should never make a return to the series as a whole? With that said, I'll see y'all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. Stay safe out there.